All right, folks, let's get started. Good morning. All right, so a few things. All right, so let's first check out the economic data. So today is April the 4th, and here's what we've got. Remember, Friday, the markets are closed. It is Good Friday, so just remember that. Here's what we have. At 10 a.m., we've got JOLTS job openings. At also at 10 a.m., we've got factory orders month over month. Okay, so JOLTS should be important enough. It is a folder, so that means that the impact should be significant. So half an hour after the market starts, that should kick in. We'll see what the impact will be. We also have tentative no specific time, but we have IBD TIPP economic optimism. After that, that's it for uh, economic releases, but we do have FOMC member Cook speaking at 1:30 p.m., which could have some significant impact on the markets depending on what they say. So, not a very news heavy day, neither in the United States or abroad. All right, so that being said, let's take a look at what stocks were moving yesterday. Um, the best one, in my opinion, from yesterday was T-Mobile, TMUS, as far as stocks going up, that is. So there's T-Mobile at the top, and as you can see, it was a runner. There's the start of the session, and as you can see, basically moved very well throughout the day. It only got to target number one, which was 146.47, but it did it in a very consistent fashion. So therefore, hopefully you were able to take advantage of that. Next up was Mondelez, which also was able to perform fairly well yesterday. Mondelez at first was going down at the open, but then quickly turned around and proceeded to trend upwards for most of the day. Mondelez was able to reach target number two. So it reached all of its targets for yesterday. Reached target number two at approximately 1 hour before the close, it looks like. Yep. So it got there about an hour before the close. So not too bad for Mondelez. And then after that, just sold off quickly at the end. All right, so these were the two bigger trends. They were two stocks that we spotted early enough. They were not really being influenced by the rest of the market, which was definitely not as congenial. The NASDAQ had a really rough start, sold off, flat, came back. That was the pattern that you see for a lot of stocks, such as Apple, for example, but Mondelez and T-Mobile did not care. And that was the reason why they ultimately became the best two stocks. So here's Apple. You can see had a quick move up, lots of choppy consolidation, sells off, flat, and then has a rally at the end of the day. Now, the rally at the end of the day was definitely exploitable. If you caught some of that, great. But the earlier part of the session was definitely not very congenial. Lyft failed to get any traction, mostly moving up at the beginning of the day, but had some pretty large swings up and down. Now, these swings are actually pretty clean, so they're exploitable, but obviously not really directional for the day, so not ideal. Um, Lots of stocks that have false starts. Google pretty much followed the rest of the market up, down, flat, and then up. So same pattern that we saw across most stocks. So if you're trading yesterday in the early part of the session, the first 30 minutes were pretty rough, maybe even the first hour. But T-Mobile and Mondelez were both identified around that time. So there were some stocks that are also moving very quickly up, or smaller stocks. I'm skipping these, but as far as bigger trends that lasted longer, um, there were some, just not a lot. All right, so having said that, let's look at what's moving pre-market and see what we got. All right, so first up, I also forgot Tesla on the move down yesterday was good. This was actually one we were watching as it went down, pointing out that the stock was bearish fairly early in the day. And as you can see, a very dramatic move if you think about where it was yesterday, or the day before yesterday, stock was down about $15. So Tesla didn't hit any of its, I think it got to target number two. Yeah, it got to target number two, but not to target number one to the downside. All right, so forgot to mention that. All right, now as far as pre-market, let's jump to those. All right, so it's the NOGN Noggin. Couple things about this stock. Had a really big move yesterday. $3 up to 10.50. However, it sold off pre-market. That does look interesting. So we will take a look at it. No major expectations, but just something we'll take a look at the open to see if it qualifies to get into a trade. So NOGN, it's not on the radar. Next up is BFRG, which currently is moving up, as you can see. Currently trading basically 4 million shares, up 52%. Um, Off of a worldwide license deal with Johns Hopkins University. Um, this should be something that could sustain the movement. It may not keep going up, but it probably won't sell off the entire gain, since this is actually something that would be an ongoing thing. Once it happens. So I would say this one looks good. So BFRG will be on the radar. We'll see if it continues to rally after the open, which it might not. All the movement might be only in the pre-market. Um, Although this stock is not in the right price range, so we won't be trading it, but it is coming back. MMAT is a symbol that we were fairly active in um, over the last 6 months, but over the last few months, it has been pretty much dormant, but you can see it's starting to come back. So if this is back of a dollar, we'll start looking at it again, but not something we'll be looking at in the room since it's under a dollar. All right, next up is Seco. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Currently trading 9.9 million shares, up 73%, trading over a dollar. We'll have to see if this is still trading in the appropriate price range at market open, but it does look very active. So we will have an eye on that at the open as well. However, this one, much more likely that it will not be a good trade, since the range might not be large enough. It may only trade in the 5 or 10 cents range given its price, but we'll see. Um, So Tesla's active as usual pre-market, but it looks just like the Nasdaq. So here's the Nasdaq. That's the pre-market, and here's Tesla. Same thing. So basically, nothing new about Tesla. It's just doing exactly what the rest of the market's doing. So we don't need to watch it. That will show up on our watch list if it's moving. And then lastly, Bed Bath and Beyond, which still not looking interesting. Still trading under $1. Still trading in a tight range. The stock gets progressively less um, desirable to look at. A lot of people seem to be expecting there's going to be another big move with this, but one of the things about stocks like this one's had such a long history of moving at larger price points. I mean, think about it. You go back to 2021, and we got the stock trading $70 a share. Over $70 a share. So under $1. Basically, this ride is over. This is looking like it's going the way of Kodak, KODK, which was a big short squeeze. Well, I can't show you Kodak because it's not a Nasdaq stock, but Kodak had its moment right back in 2020, and then since then it's basically been selling off. Bed Bath and Beyond, of course, in danger of bankruptcy. I mean, they're pretty much bankrupt as it stands, but don't expect much out of that stock. If you're constantly watching it, you know, when it starts to move, we'll see it, but pretty much it's gone. All right, CLDX or CDLX. Let's see. So currently trading just under 1 million shares, but that's fine. 24% up off of looks like guidance, Q1 guidance. So they published updated guidance for first quarter 2023 financial results. Okay. Um, so we'll put that on the radar. That's a good find, Margie. All right. You guys see any other stocks that trading at least 1 million shares? If they're really close, that's still fine. But 1 million shares, Nasdaq, anything that's volatile, any other stocks you guys see that would be interesting that fit those criteria. All right. Well, that probably okay. GFAI. Let's take a look. Um, it's trading the volume, but I'll just say yes because this stock had a. This was actually the one I was thinking of from yesterday. This was a smaller stock that basically went up dramatically. Yeah, we should actually take a look at this today. Uh, actually forgot about this one. Yesterday, I basically didn't point it out simply because at the earlier stages, well, even after that, it's just pretty choppy. So I figure this stock would probably hurt a lot of people to trade it. So anyway, that one worth watching, but obviously we'll have to catch it early if it moves at all. But good chance this will move. But looking at the range it's moving in, you do have to take substantial risk to be in it. Any other stocks, folks? All right. All right. So we'll wrap up the pre-market pulse for today. If anyone is watching this broadcast and you're not a member of our services, be sure to check out fundertrading.com, our website. Again, fundertrading.com. You'll learn more about how we fund traders to trade stocks. And otherwise, we'll see you in the coaching room in about 10 minutes. Okay. Have a good one, folks. Trade well.